From Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona, the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network, in partnership with the Peoria Unified School District, presents high school football as the Peoria Panthers host the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs in a Division II Section 3 battle. Good evening again, everyone. My name is Ken Tomash. Greg Dillard and I will be your hosts this evening. The Peoria Panthers came into this season with their usual high expectations despite losing most of their starters from last year's 9-3 team, but they lost their opener against Apollo, and they haven't put back-to-back wins together yet. They come into tonight's game 2-3, but Greg, they went back to basics last week. They ground out 351 yards on the ground, and they beat Glendale.
That's right, Ken. The Panthers feature a dangerous running attack in the form of junior running backs Ira Rojas and Eli Bealey. Rojas has already tallied 433 yards on the ground on 74 carries this season, while Bealey has carried the ball 27 times for 123 rushing yards of his own. Those two were undoubtedly crucial contributors to the Peoria offense last week, and they will look to continue that success tonight against the Mustang defense.
Sunrise Mountain got off to the best start they've ever had. They were 4-0, but it all came crashing down last week in a 64-29 loss at home to their arch rivals from Liberty. So, Greg, how do they come back from that mentally?
You're right. The Mustangs look to right the ship tonight here in Peoria after last week's deflating defeat at the hands of the Lions. It all starts with senior quarterback Max Shepard, who has proven to be a dual-threat signal caller throughout his time at Sunrise Mountain. Shepard owns a pass completion percentage of 58 to go with 5 touchdown passes this season. But he's also a formidable threat on the ground. The senior is more than capable of making plays happen with his feet. He's rushed for 529 yards this season, averaging 7.1 yards per carry to go with 10 rushing touchdowns. Defensively, the Mustangs will rely heavily on senior inside linebacker Raymond Flores. He leads the Sunrise Mountain defense with 36 tackles. Senior defensive back Christian Miller is also enjoying a strong start with 15 tackles and 2 interceptions.
We're going back to 2004. Peoria has won 3 of the last 5 meetings against the Mustangs, including the last 2. They beat them 27-17 a year ago. So sit back and enjoy, folks. It's Peoria against Sunrise Mountain, and it's all here live on IBNSports.com. Well, the Peoria Panthers won the toss, and they deferred to the second half, so they'll be kicking off. They're in the green jerseys, yellow helmets, and white pants. To our right, it's going to be Bryce Perez to kick off. And Sunrise Mountain's deep backs, the very dangerous Elijah Castro. Perez puts his left foot to it, and we're underway. This one is going to skip out of bounds here along the near side. And so decision time for Peoria, as Doug Clapp can either have them re-kick it from 5 yards back, take it where it went out, or take it 25 yards from the previous spot, which is the 35, and that's probably what he's going to elect to do. We'll see here. It's probably the best of those 3 choices. So Sunrise Mountain will open at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Max Shepard at quarterback. Shepard had a rough weekend last week, 5 out of 16 for just 83 yards in that loss to Liberty. He will throw the ball a lot. He'll also run. He sprints out to his right now, throws here along the near side, complete to Christian Miller for a 6-yard gain.
That's a great catch by Miller right there, going to get the ball. Shepard didn't hit him in the chest. Miller caught the ball, kept his feet in bounds, and just like that, the Mustangs get a short gain to start things off.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. Miller had a nice game a week ago in that loss, deputized for the injured Elroy Masters. And so it's Miller here down at the bottom of your screen on 2nd and 4 as Max Shepard checks the plays on his wristband. He's got 4 receivers to his left. He'll sprint right up the middle himself, trying to get to that first down, but instead he only gets back about to the original line of scrimmage. And so it'll be 3rd and 4.
Nice job by the Panther defense right there. You got to think they know very well that Shepard is a threat on the ground. It'll be a tall task of stopping him, not only in the air, but on the ground as well throughout this game.
No gain for Shepard on his first carry as their leading rusher coming in with over 500 yards. He can run out of that empty backfield. And on 3rd and 4, he'll sprint to his left. And the righty will have to make a tough throw, and he does, and it is off the hands of his receiver at the 45-yard line of Peoria. So the Mustangs are going to go 3 and out, and we'll have to punt.
4th down for the
So Eric Kina, averaging about 36 yards a punt, will kick to the very dangerous Darius Aguirre. Aguirre back at his own 20 for Peoria. Aguirre averaging about 8 yards a punt return. On 4th and 6, Kina sends it high, spiraling to Aguirre, who catches it at his own 18-yard line. Goes up the middle, and he's going to be hammered there to about the 28 for a 10-yard return, but we've got a flag back down on the other side of the 50. So let's see what the flag is for. Pat Peters is our referee tonight. Just underway here. 10:33 to play in the first quarter. No score. Sunrise Mountain 3 and out on their first possession. And we've got an unsportsmanlike conduct on Peoria. So they get to keep the ball, but it's going to back them up. And so they'll start from a little deeper in their own territory here. I told you, Peoria, a rough start to the season. Lost to Apollo here, 24-13. Came back the next week to beat Moon Valley, 43-0. But then in a game that took quite a while to play, they lost at Cactus 31-0 with 10 minutes left in the first half. That game was one of many that night that was delayed because of heavy lightning. And they finished it up on Saturday. And then the week after that, Peoria lost 28-21 at Liberty before, as we told you, beating Glendale 36-6 last week to get their record to 2-3. So we're back at the 19-yard line of Peoria with 10:33 to play. First play, they'll go right up the middle, and you're going to see this a lot. You'll see Ira Rojas running quite a bit tonight, Greg, and why wouldn't you when he's averaging 6 yards a carry and had a huge game a week ago in that he had 180 yards on 22 carries, scored 4 touchdowns. He got no gain on the first play.
And Rojas, as we mentioned in the intro, Ken, a formidable threat on the ground. Already 6 touchdown runs this season.
He'll be in the offset eye. Second man through this time is Eli Bealey. Bealey gives him a little change up. Their second leading rusher with 123 yards, but finds the going tough. In fact, he is only to the 19-yard line.
Well, we saw Bealey there, and I think that's what makes this Panther rushing attack so formidable and so dangerous. They not only have Rojas, they also have Bealey, and of course they have Adrian Enriquez as well. So they don't not only have one rusher, but 3 who are capable of moving the chains.
3rd and 5, clock moving, 9:17 to play first quarter. Offset eye again for Nick Salute, a quarterback who had a bit of a rough night last week, but he completes this one to Sam Pineda. Pineda has the first down, stiff arms a defender, and is finally pulled down, but not before he gets the first down and more, out to about the 38-yard line.
Great job right there by Pineda, making the catch and getting some more yards. We saw George Spoonmore, 81 wide receiver there, make a nice block that allowed his teammate to get further down the field. And a huge first down for the Panther offense.
18-yard gain. Nice, finally stay with it tackle there by Ryan Wood of Sunrise Mountain, but it brings up first down. Now we've got slot men to both sides for Salute in the short shotgun. Aguirre goes in motion. They will hand it to him. They'll run this play quite a bit. Aguirre gets to the outside, gets the first down, and he's finally ridden out of bounds across midfield in Sunrise Mountain territory at about the 48-yard line. 15-yard gain. You'll see that quite a bit, that they like to put him in motion and give the ball to the motion man. You've got to respect him as a receiver, but you've also he's got tremendous ability to run the ball as well. That's only his 2nd carry of the year. He got 15 on that one. And it's first down at the 48-yard line of Sunrise Mountain. This time they fake it to the motion man, and Salute's going to go up top. And it's going to be intercepted back at the 19. A flag flies. We may have defensive pass interference on Christian Miller.
Saw Miller there. He is the one who came up with the interception, but it looks like there was some contact. And as you said, Ken, there is a flag. This one could still remain.
It is defensive pass interference. They had good coverage on him, and perhaps a bit too good as it turned out. So that'll move the ball all the way down inside Sunrise Mountain territory. Back-to-back 15-yard gains, one on a run and one on a penalty. That'll get us down to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for Peoria. On the move, their opening possession of the first half. 8:47 to play and the clock running. Again, Salute has an offset eye. Fakes it to Rojas. Throws over his receiver's head in the end zone. He was looking for George Spoonmore there, his big tight end. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
More great coverage from the Mustangs. Nick Hallman over there. Double coverage. Salute just overthrew him.
Mentioned Nick Salute's rough outing last week in the win. He'll take it, but he was just 4 out of 12 throwing the ball for 35 yards and 2 interceptions. But they got the win, and that was the most important part. And now he's looking at a 2nd and 10 as he pitches it here to Rojas. Rojas cuts back up inside. Nails the defender and gets the first down to the 20-yard line, a gain of 13.
What a great cutback right there by Rojas. Saw a wide open lane, took advantage of it, and Panthers just keep marching closer to the end zone.
Down to the 20. Panthers, we told you they ran for 351 yards against Glendale last week, and the rushing attack off to a good start here. In the first quarter on their first possession against Sunrise Mountain. 1st and 10 from the 20. Salute again in the short shotgun. Again, this time he fakes it to Aguirre. He'll throw quickly to looking for Pineda, and it's broken up nicely there down at the 6-yard line. Again, this secondary of Sunrise Mountain doing a very nice job.
Looks like, again, when the Panthers running game goes, so does their offense. So far, Salute's tried to do things in the air. Hasn't yielded too many results, but with Rojas and Bealey, they've effectively been able to move the ball.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now from the 20 with 8:01 to go in the first. Rojas again in the offset eye. They'll give it to him off left tackle. Gets around one man, gets to the corner, and gets down close to the 10-yard line. Stays in bounds. He's going to be very close to the first down, but I think he's just about a yard short of 9-yard gain. Eighth play of the drive coming up. And it'll be 3rd and 2 from the 12. Just call it an 8-yard gain. We'll go that way again, but this time it's with Bealey, and Bealey has the first down inside the 5 to about the 4.
It's a two-headed monster, that Peoria rushing game. Bealey got his name called there. He gets it inside the 5 for the Panthers. You got to think they might look to punch it in with Rojas or Bealey here.
But they're going to do it after Sunrise Mountain takes their first timeout here of the first half. And while we have a time, we'll remind you to tune into 12 News tonight at 11:35 p.m. for Friday Night Fever, live with Bruce Cooper and crew. It's everything an Arizona high school football fanatic needs. From incredible plays to fierce rivalries and amazing comebacks. Catch highlights, scores, and video on demand at FridayNightFever.azcentral.com. Always like to see friend of the show, Scott Bordeaux, making a TV appearance as well, as he does on Friday Night Fever. We talked to Scott last week at halftime of our Liberty Sunrise Mountain game.
You got Scott, you got Coop, Republic reporter Sarah McCullen. It's a good lineup they got over there at Friday Night Fever.
So Sunrise Mountain giving up a drive that started back at the 13-yard line of Peoria. James Carter calls timeout. Get his guys regrouped. And we're back at it here. First and goal from the 5-yard line. One man in the backfield. And that one man is in for the touchdown. Eli Bealey, a 5-yard run for his second rushing touchdown of the year. With the extra point to come, Peoria leads 6-0.
Bealey goes untouched into the end zone to give his team an early 6-0 lead. And just like that, the Panthers waste little time in displaying their potent ground attack, and that was just too easy for Eli Bealey.
And the extra point by Bryce Perez is good, and with 7 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the first quarter, the Peoria Panthers strike first and lead the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs by a score of 7-0. They go 87 yards in 9 plays in 3 minutes and 16 seconds. Doug Clapp said that by the end of the season, Greg, he expected his team to be one of the top 4 or 5 in the state. And after 5 games, it's been hit and miss. But a drive like that on your opening possession, after you're just coming off a big win a week ago, has to do wonders for the confidence of these young players, many of whom haven't started before.
Oh, yeah, I think if you're the Panthers and Coach Clapp, you couldn't have scripted your first drive any better. They just got off to a quick start. They get on the board. They have a 7-0 lead. March 87 yards. Kind of picked up where they left off on the ground last week. It worked last week. It looks like it's working so far here tonight.
Perez with his second kickoff of the evening. And will drive his man all the way back to the 2-yard line. Nice tackle as that one is brought all the way out, up to across the 20 to the 22-yard line. And so 1st and 10 from the 22 is where Sunrise Mountain will start their second possession of the game with 7:12 to play in the first quarter. Shepard on the quarterback draw. Crossed the 30 and might have a first down if he fell forward.
Shepard just had a wide open zone there, and he took advantage of it. He averages 7.1 yards per rush. And it looks like he picks up a first down on that first play of the drive.
An 11-yard gain right at the middle out of the shotgun for Max Shepard. 6-foot, 180-pound senior. Worked once, he'll do it again, this time around the left side. He's being chased over there, and he'll be chased and finally brought down by John Foltz. But another few yards. About 6-yard gain for Shepard.
There's Foltz making his presence known. He leads the Peoria defense with 41 tackles this season. Definitely a force at the outside linebacker position.
So now Shepard will send receivers here to the near side. He's actually got 4 of them here, including a wingback and 1 receiver to the left side, but he doesn't need any of them as he'll just take it himself up the middle. Looks like he's got another first down, this time out to the 44-yard line for a gain of 6. It's been the Max Shepard show on this drive. 3 carries, 23 yards.
Shepard saying, hey, Peoria's not the only game that can run the football, or only team that can run the football. Already 2 first downs here on their second possession of the first quarter.
We've got 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. Peoria scores on their first drive. And now we'll see if Sunrise Mountain can answer. Got a first down at the 44-yard line. Shepard will try it again. 4th consecutive carry for the quarterback, and he's across the 45 to about the 47.
That's a nice job right there by senior outside linebacker Chris Chapman. Flying through there, stopping Shepard before he could get any farther. That'll be key for these Peoria linebackers. Can they contain Shepard and force him to throw the football a little bit.
Running right up there behind big Scott Peterson, the center and captain. Drew Johnson, Tyler Peters, Ryan Carniash, and Devin Koivisto. This time he's looking to throw. Can't find a receiver. Can't get away from the pressure, but he does unload it well out of bounds, and it's incomplete. So far, Shepard's having a little bit more success with his feet than with his arm. His team is facing a 3rd and 7 now at the 47. Watch out for Christian Tejada and Chris Chapman, two of the better defenders on this Peoria squad. Instead, they'll pitch it inside. And there's a tremendous tackle by Peoria's Evan Ford.
Ford there, a great open field tackle. And that will force the Mustangs to punt. That tackle looked like it prevented a first down. Great stop right there by Ford. And once again, it's the Peoria defense that quiets the Mustang offense.
They needed a stop, and they got it. And it's Keena for his second punt. McGuire standing back at his own 5-yard line. Keena gets it high. McGuire watches it drift into the end zone for a touchback, and so Peoria will get the ball at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10 with 4:19 to play in the first quarter. We're at Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona, one of the oldest high schools in the state. Opened its doors in 1919. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you on a very warm Friday night. There aren't much else but warm Friday nights during football season here until we get very late into the season. Temperatures over 100 in the valley again today. And we're going to get right back after it with Nick Salute and the Peoria Panthers in the green and yellow, attacking from right to left here in the first quarter against Sunrise Mountain in the white jerseys and yellow pants. Salute quickly throws to Pineda here, and that's going to be incomplete. Pineda reached back to get it, but it hit the ground.
That's just a poor throw right there by Salute, trying to get it off quickly to Pineda.
Some good pressure coming in on him, too, and kind of forced him to throw that probably before he or Pineda were ready. It's going to be up to that offensive line of Curtis McGuire, Kason Lewis, Brian Smithert, Cody Cooper, and Elijah Hudson to keep the Mustang defense off their quarterback, give him enough time to throw. It's 2nd and 10 now from the 20 with 4:15 to play. Salute now will go under center. We'll pitch it here around the left side. Bealey. Bealey gets to about the 25-yard line. Or was it Bealey or was it? The tell if it was Bealey or Rojas. 32-33, very similar looking backs. Whoever it was got a 4-yard gain.
One play after Salute couldn't get anything done through the air when he threw an errant throw to Pineda. The Panthers go back to the ground and gain a few yards.
Gain of 4, 3rd and 6 now. A lot of options here. When you've got talented running backs like Rojas and Bealey, you don't necessarily have to throw on a 3rd and 6. And instead, Salute wants a timeout.
And the Panthers call a timeout.
So that's their first of the first half.
This timeout, let's announce a couple things here. Support the PHS cheerleaders.
So this season's been quite the revival for Sunrise Mountain. In fact, since James Carter got to campus, the Mustangs have been much improved. 9-7 in the last year and a half after only winning 4 games in 2008 and 2009 combined. Last year they went 5-6 overall, lost at Canyon Del Oro in the state playoffs. We told you they started off 4-0, their best start ever this season before losing at Liberty last Friday. They're trying to get back to their winning ways tonight against Peoria, a team that they've lost back-to-back games to. So these two teams know each other quite a bit. Last year was a 27-17 Panther victory. And the Panthers scored on their first drive tonight, a 5-yard run by Eli Bealey. Coming out of the timeout with 3:33 to go in the first quarter, they lead at 7-0. So we'll see what the Panthers do here. Coming out of the timeout on 3rd and 6 from the 24. Why not pitch it to Rojas, who can throw? Terrific throw, terrific catch by Aguirre, and he may go the distance. 76-yard touchdown on the halfback option. Peoria's up 13-0. Aguirre with a touchdown catch. His 4th of the year.
On 3rd and 6, Salute gives it to Rojas, so you expect Rojas to make something happen with his feet. Oh no, he's going to throw it downfield to the number 1 Panther receiver in Aguirre. Aguirre bolts to the end zone for his 4th touchdown of the year. He faced triple coverage, but that's what makes him so good. Finds ways to catch the football, and he scampers on in for an easy 6 points for Peoria.
All he needs is a little bit of separation once he catches the ball, as Perez puts the extra point through, and with 3:21 to play in the first quarter, Peoria leads Sunrise Mountain by a score of 14-0. They go 80 yards in 3 plays, 76 of it on the halfback option pass from Ira Rojas to Darius Aguirre. And it took just 58 seconds to get it done. So now if you're Sunrise Mountain, you got blitzed last week after that game was 14-13, and next time you looked up it was 64-13. Now you've given up the first 14 points tonight, and we'll see what this young Mustang team, and they lost a lot of people off last year's team, see how they respond here on the road, coming off that loss and falling behind as Peoria scores on their first 2 possessions. So this will be interesting to see. Key next possession for the Mustangs. Perez kicking off for the 3rd time in the quarter. And he chases Elijah Castro back to the goal line, where he just watches it go across for a touchback, and the Mustangs will take over at their own 20.
As you mentioned, Ken, this is a crucial drive for the Mustangs offense. Down 14-0. We still have over 3 minutes left in this first quarter. Definitely not a textbook way to start the game if you're Sunrise Mountain.
They were making some things happen, though, in their last drive, Greg, with Shepard running the ball. Now it becomes a little more urgent, because the thing is, if Shepard keeps running the ball, that clock keeps ticking. When you're down 14-0 against a team that can score in a hurry, it can make life difficult. But here's Shepard again, trying to cut to the outside, and he's going to be brought down there. Again, it's Ford. Evan Ford doing a nice job coming up from that D-back position. Drop Shepard after a gain of 5 out to the 25.
That's the second time Ford's come through and just put a stop to Shepard. He wanted no part of it.
And we've got a holding call on Sunrise Mountain, so that's going to wipe out the gain. Well, after a week ago when Liberty had 20 penalties in the first half of our game, it's nice to see there's only been a few flags in the field in this opening quarter here. We got 3:01 to play. You never like to see it, but definitely don't like to see what we saw last week. So they're going to holding call on the Mustangs. So now they find themselves in an even bigger hole. Back to the 11-yard line. 2nd and 19. 1st and 19, rather. Scoreboard says 10. It looks like the 11 to me, but tough to tell. Shepard again. It's going to be stacked up, trying to run up the middle. And it looks like he got no gain out of that.
That time it was Foltz coming through there. He makes the tackle. His 43rd of the year. So nothing doing on the ground for Shepard. A usual threat with his legs, but Peoria containing him well so far. Of course, the penalty also hurt this drive.
2nd and 19. Shepard will go to the air, and it's off the hands of his receiver. Trying to hit John Farago there. Or it's Christian Aragon, rather. 3, not 2. These Sunrise Mountain numbers, they're wearing yellow numbers on white jerseys, which makes it very difficult to distinguish sometimes between players that have similar body types. Aragon and Drago, fairly similar players and with single-digit numbers. So it's old school football, back in the day when they didn't need numbers. But Shepard now looking for 3rd and 19. Throw this one deep. He's got a man. Castro can't come up with it. throw was a little bit behind him, Greg, and reaching back for that one, it's incomplete.
You're right. It was behind him. If Shepard can get a little more on that ball, Castro had the separation needed with the speed that he has. Yeah, there were 3 Panthers, but Castro had them beat. That's an easy 6 points and a touchdown for Castro, but the throw was behind, and another stalled offensive drive for the Mustangs. Not at all what they were looking to do there, faced with a 14-point deficit with 2:15 left in the first quarter.
3 possessions, 3 punts as Eric Kina stands back at his own goal line, and this time Ira Rojas has come in. He's standing at midfield to return this punt.
Kina averages over 36 yards per punt. He's going to need a long one here.
He does turn it over. It's high in the air. Rojas circling under it right at midfield. Rojas has been the man tonight, and he'll finally be ridden down by Sunrise Mountain's Nick Haleman, but not before he gets about a 14-yard punt return. So it'll set up the Panthers 1st and 10 in Sunrise Mountain territory at the 36-yard line. Call it the 36-yard line. With 2:04 to play in the first quarter.
Panthers here looking to add on. Their defense has done a spectacular job of containing Max Shepard. Now Nick Salute, Ira Rojas and company returns. They've already put up 14 points in the first quarter. Good field position to start this possession.
First down at the 36-yard line of Sunrise Mountain. Again, they put Aguirre in motion, and they'll throw it to him out of the backfield, and it's off his hands.
Nick Salute struggling with these shorter passes there. Earlier we saw him try and get one out to Aguirre, and here he tries to hit Aguirre, who was in motion. Salute with a 47% pass completion rate so far this season.
I have him unofficially as 1 out of 5. Of course, Rojas has the big throw, the 76-yard halfback option to Aguirre for the touchdown that made it 14-0. Now it's 2nd and 10. Backs in the eye behind Salute, who goes under center. Again, they'll try that left side. And Rojas has a first down to the 20-yard line. 16-yard gain, and Rojas is really feeling it tonight.
And he is. Picking up where he left off last week.
So down to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. So the Panthers having their way with Sunrise Mountain defense to this point in the first quarter. They scored on their first 2 possessions, threatening to score here on the 3rd. Again, they go to Rojas. And again, those legs are churning, and he's down to about the 13 for a gain of about 7. He's a tough guy to bring down, even with a couple of guys.
That he is. Mustangs linebacking core of Colton Demmels, Dominic Noble, Raymond Flores, and Corey Brown. They've got their hands full tonight. Seems like no matter how many Mustangs are in the area, Rojas just keeps on moving.
So a 7-yard gain on 1st and 10. Sets him up at the 13. 2nd and 3. Clock running. 1:18 to play in the first quarter. And Bealey is in. This will be Bealey off the right side. And Bealey gets close, but not quite to the first down. Or maybe he will. We'll see. They do stop the clock, which means he's close. Down to the 10. That is a first down.
So if it's not Rojas, it's Bealey. And he found an open lane there and burst forward. We saw Rojas trot back out on the field, so you can expect that he's looking to punch it into the end zone here.
Pick your poison with those two. Under a minute to play now. Peoria looking to score on their 3rd consecutive possession to start this game against Sunrise Mountain, and the Mustangs looking to prevent that from happening. 1st and goal, 10-yard line. Salute will pitch it here to Rojas. Started outside, cuts back inside, gets down to about the 6-yard line. And a guy who's always around the ball for the Mustangs, Raymond Flores, makes the stop. 6 foot, 200-pound senior.
2nd and goal from the 7 for Peoria.
Call it a 3-yard gain down to the 7-yard line. 2nd and goal from there. Again, the offset eye. They're just going to keep pounding it. And they'll get close, just shy of the goal line is Ira Rojas. Rojas about a 6-yard gain.
That'll do it.
And that'll be the end of the quarter. So we've played 12 minutes, and Peoria's knocking on the door to start the second quarter. Greg and I will be back after this. It's 14-0 Peoria leading Sunrise Mountain, and we're back after this. You're watching high school football on IBNSports.com. So the second quarter begins with Peoria already leading 14-0, and with a 3rd and goal from the Sunrise Mountain 1-yard line. Here's where Sunrise needs a big stop, a big goal line stand. Salute hands it off to Rojas, and they're not going to stop him. He's in, and it's 20-0. First play of the second quarter.
Untouched was Rojas there. He just had no problem going to the outside and faced no opposition from the Mustang defense. He cruised on in there. And already 3 scores for the Panthers. And we are 1 play in to the second quarter.
So they had the short field after the punt return, so they go 36 yards in 7 plays. And looking for his 3rd extra point of the night, and Rojas misses it. Not Rojas, Perez misses it. And so it remains 20-0.
Rojas doesn't quite do everything for this Panther offense. Seems like it.
It is Bryce Perez who Rojas did get the touchdown. And Bryce Perez's point after is no good. So now it's 20-0. Well, if you were looking to see how Sunrise Mountain would respond, they'll get another chance to do just that. But now they're down 20-0, and they've had no success. There have been 6 possessions in this game, 3 by each team. Peoria has touchdowns on all 3 of theirs. Sunrise Mountain has had to punt on all 3 of theirs. And here's where a young team is looking for a spark, and sometimes special teams can do just that if they can get a big return. We saw them last week. They've got some guys who can make a big return and maybe get something going here for Sunrise Mountain.
That they do. Castro averages 33.78 yards on his returns.
He won't get the chance to return that one as the ball just nicked that goal line, and so he was heading upfield, but it's going to be the touchback. As Bryce Perez makes up for missing the extra point with a long kickoff for a touchback, and so Sunrise Mountain at their own 20 with 11:56 to play in the first half. Max Shepard remains the quarterback. He's got Elijah Castro down to the bottom of your screen. And again, they're just going to try to run the ball with Shepard. And Shepard bounces outside, and he's out of bounds up to about the 28-yard line for a gain of 8.
Looks like the Mustangs are going to resort to using Shepard on the ground. We saw him pick up a pair of first downs during the last possession before they stalled. If you're Sunrise Mountain, you got to think that he might be the one to spark your offense with his legs.
Their leading running back is Elijah Castro, and he is posted out wide down to the left-hand side. And we've got an encroachment call on Peoria, so that'll get Sunrise 5 yards at least to start.
If you're the Mustangs, you'll take it there. They're 5 yards closer to getting on the scoreboard.
So 1st and 5 now, and your options widen a little bit. Christian Aragon is the wide man down to the bottom of your screen with Elijah Castro. And Shepard again will go right up the middle. Said it was 1st and 10 rather, not 1st and 5. The penalty gave them the first down and a gain of 3. Or 2 rather. So it'll be 2nd and 8 now. Shepherd with 4 receivers to his left and only 1 to his right. He's looking left all the way. Pressure coming from the backside, and he completes it to Castro here on the near side, and Castro is gang tackled there. Christian Tejada, just one of the guys in there, along with Nakeem Lewis. Shepherd completes a pass up to the 39-yard line for a gain of about 5.
That was great pressure right there by Peoria linebacker Arnold D'Alejandro. Shepherd was able to complete that pass, but was forced to scramble to his left.
3rd and 3 now. Shepherd's 4 receivers are to the right-hand side. One man Aragon to his left. 3rd and 3. The snap is low. Shepherd looking downfield all the way. Throws. It was caught but then dropped in the face of good defensive pressure there as they tried to get it to Christian Miller, but Nakeem Lewis kept his head, lost his helmet, made the stop.
It's the second time Shepherd's looked to a Mustang receiver. He's hit them with a pass, but faced with pressure, they've dropped the ball. There was Miller. You have to think he heard the Peoria Panthers coming, and he was unable to hold on to the pass.
Nakeem Lewis is a big hitter in that secondary, just 5'7", but the senior hits hard. That time he hit hard enough to knock his own helmet off and break up the pass. So Eric Keena's getting a workout tonight. Senior punter at his own 25. Darius Aguirre back at his own 15. With 10.5 minutes to play in the first half. Keena now turns this one over nicely. Chases Aguirre back to his own 13-yard line. Sidesteps one tackler, cuts back inside, but then the white shirts are all over him and bring him down at about the 19-yard line for a 6-yard return. Nice punt by Keena, and that pins the Panthers pretty deep, so winning the field position war on that little exchange.
Nice punt by Keena there, but another stalled offensive drive for the Mustangs. They are now 0 for 4. 4 punts have come from offensive possessions. Fortunately, they got a good punt there, and the Panthers are way back in their own territory.
Here's where Sunrise needs a big defensive stop. Here's where a turnover could really maybe spark them. They need something here. Backs again in the offset eye. Behind Salute, who's under center. Play action pass, and Salute's going for Pineda long. Pineda makes the catch, and they're not going to catch him. 81-yard touchdown, Sam Pineda.
Pineda just got the separation there. Just when you got finished talking about how the Mustangs needed a big defensive stop, they could not do it. Pineda first past Nick Hallman. They were way behind Pineda.
Well, I told you that Salute had a rough week, just 4 out of 12 for 35 yards a week ago. He gets 81 on that, and that wasn't one of those throw it 10 yards and the other guy runs 71. He hit him in stride, and Pineda went the rest of the way for his 3rd receiving touchdown of the campaign, and Bryce Perez's point after is good, and with 10:05 to play in the first half, it's Peoria 27, Sunrise Mountain nothing. No need to recap the scoring drive for you on that one. It was one play, 81 yards, and it took 8 seconds.
That is Pineda's 3rd touchdown of the season. His previous long reception was for 57 yards. He shatters that with an 81-yard touchdown reception. And after we saw Peoria use the running game to get on the scoreboard for the first 3 scores, they rely on Salute to Pineda to extend their lead to 27 points.
And it helps when you've got guys like Rojas and Bealey, and you'll see Adrian Enriquez in there as well, when they had to respect the play action pass, and that gave Pineda enough of an advantage to get behind the secondary. The result, 81 yards, 8 seconds, 1 touchdown. It's 27-0 now as Perez looks to kick off again. Panthers have gone 4 for 4, scoring 4 touchdowns on their 4 possessions. They'll knock this one deep, and now they'll try to little reverse action here. Castro gets out across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. And so Sunrise Mountain again, just trying to get a first down would be a nice start for them from their own 22-yard line.
Or perhaps more than one first down, Ken. They've gotten, one or two, whether it be a Shepherd on the ground or a couple passes, but then it just seems whether it be a penalty, a drop pass, something happens to put an end to their drives.
Got to get one before you can get multiple ones. Shepherd keeps it. Gets away from one tackler, Perez, but he cannot get away from the second man. And that's Peoria's Chris Chapman, the all-state defensive player. And it's a gain of maybe an inch or so. Officially nothing, 2nd and 10. I think Shepherd's going to feel that one in the morning. He's alone in the backfield with all his receivers. Left and right, 4 of them to the left-hand side. Shepherd looking to throw. Perez looking to drop him. Flag down as Perez does get him. Also in there, Michael Waddle. We'll check the flag here. That's going to be a face mask on Peoria, so wipe out the sack.
Looks like Perez grabbed the face mask there. You saw him and Waddle get great penetration through the Sunrise Mountain O-line, but that negates the sack, and you hand the Mustangs a first down.
No, just a 5-yard variety, so not an automatic first down. Out to the 30, and it's going to be 2nd and 2. Shepherd up the middle, first down, and brought down at the 40-yard line. Again, it's Chapman on the stop, as well as Bryce Perez. Those two guys will be in on a lot of tackles tonight as Perez gets Shepherd. As Shepherd gets 7 yards, and it'll be 1st and 10 Sunrise at their own 40, but something to build on at least if you're Sunrise Mountain.
That was a great job right there by the Sunrise Mountain O-line. Ryan Carney, Ash Scott Peterson, giving Shepherd room to run.
Shepherd now fakes the throw. Will tuck it under. He's going to be hit hard as he gets up inside. Mitchell Archuleta with the big hit.
Now Archuleta in a shoving match there a little bit with Ryan Carney. Ash was on the ground. Archuleta a little tussle there.
Forward progress to the 43, so a gain of 3 for Shepherd. It'll be 2nd and 7. So again, 5 receivers for Shepherd. They play without a tight end. They'll put Elijah Castro in motion and hand it to him around the right side. Being chased there by Christian Tejada, and he's finally pushed out of bounds over on the far side after a very short gain, if anything.
That was great pursuit there by Tejada. Castro was way back in the backfield trying to get around on the outside. Tejada got him out of bounds, and it's a short gain.
Officially, gain of, well, it looks like a loss of 1. 2nd and 8, back to the 42. Clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play with 7:52 to play in the first half. 3rd and 8 as Shepherd looks left, pumps once, throws across the middle, complete. So now the Mustangs are moving. Nick Haleman comes up with the reception there, and finally, Max Shepherd is able to get something done through the air. 13-yard gain. Down to the 43-yard line. The Mustangs have 2 first downs on this drive. They'll hand that one up the middle, and finally being gang tackled there is the Sunrise Mountain running back Pate Hayden. or Hayden Pate for that matter. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the 39. Shepard throws across the middle, complete. It's another first down for the Mustangs. That time it's Christian Miller.
What a tremendous job right there by Shepard. We said in the intro that he's a dual threat quarterback. He can do things in the air and on the ground, and right there you just saw him hit Miller for a huge gain. He came in tonight, Shepard that is, with the 58% completion rate. So he can hit his receivers. He can throw the ball as well as run, and we've seen that on this drive.
21-yard gain on the Miller reception, so back-to-back completions on throws by Max Shepard, and that's got the Mustangs down to the 18-yard line. We'll remind you to tune into 12 News tonight at 11:35 p.m. for Friday Night Fever, live with Bruce Cooper and crew. It's everything an Arizona high school football fanatic needs, from incredible plays to fierce rivalries and amazing comebacks. Catch highlights, scores, and video on demand at FridayNightFever.azcentral.com. We've got 6 minutes and 55 seconds to play in the first half from Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona. And the Peoria Panthers lead the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs 27-0. They've scored on their first 4 possessions. But now it's Sunrise Mountain on the move with a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line of the Panthers. Shepard fakes to Castro. He's going to look across the middle, and it's broken up there by Chapman as he tried to go back to Miller. Actually, it was Nakeem Lewis. Nakeem Lewis shadowing Christian Miller across the middle. And nicely done there by Nakeem Lewis.
Shepard was looking for Miller again, one play after they connected on a big gain, but Lewis was all there. Great coverage right there.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 18. Not a bad throw, but good defense. Shepard now, again, he'll fake it, and he will just get swarmed under. Mitchell Archuleta, the first man to drop him. And Jarrell Sidney, they'll each combine on that sack. And it'll be a 4-yard loss. This is the most sustained drive of Sunrise Mountain's night, though. 10th play coming up. 3rd and 14. They need to keep the drive alive here. Shepard under pressure throws it away. He was going to get, it's actually picked off. And it's almost taken back the other way, is it? Right at the end of that play, yes, Sunrise Mountain got the ball back. So it's intercepted by Michael Archuleta, and at the end of the play, one of the Sunrise Mountain players stuck his arm in there and just ripped the ball out and gave it back to his team at the 19-yard line.
Wow, what an interesting turn of events there. Right as the Mustangs looked like they were getting things done offensively, Shepard was swarmed again, and he just decided to do something with the football and threw it right in the hands of a Peoria defender. But they get the ball back.
I have 1st and 10. Now bursting up the middle and getting another first down. That is Max Shepard. So we'll have to do this all over again, says Sunrise Mountain, and so far so good as he bursts up to the 38-yard line for a gain of 19. 1st and 10 there. Sunrise Mountain's down 27-0, but they don't look like they're not playing on this last couple of drives like a team that's down by 27 points, as that one is dumped across the middle for a completion to Hayden Pate. To about the 43-yard line for a gain of 5. Shepard hit just one of his first 5 passes, but it's now 5 out of 11. And he pulls Peoria offside. So it may be enough to get them a first down. Certainly looks that way, and it will be first down at their own 49-yard line.
So here we go again. Just minutes ago, the Mustangs were at this part of the field. They were marching.
But keeping that Peoria defense on the field, something they haven't been able to do on their first 4 possessions. And just when the Panthers defense thought they'd be off the field, they had to go right back on there. First and 10 from the Sunrise Mountain 49. Shepherd alone in the backfield. Again, he's going to look to throw, and he's going to look to throw deep. And it's just over the head of his receiver. So it'll be second and 10 from the 49. A promising drive here. Interrupted a bit in the middle by an interception, oh, by the way. But with exactly 5 minutes to go in the first half, Sunrise Mountain on their best drive of the game and almost their best field position. Shepherd again, rolling again. He's got pressure, and he's going to be, that's just got to be a face mask there, and there is. Shepherd gets away from it. It'll be tacked on to the end of the run as Shepherd gets across midfield to about the 47. So a gain of 4, and they'll tack the face mask on. As again, it was Perez who came storming through, and he got the face mask with his hand.
Perez just came flying through there, immediately putting pressure on Shepherd. But for the second time tonight, he's flagged for a face mask, so the Mustangs will take it.
This isn't going to be the 5-yard variety. This is the 15, all the way down to the 32-yard line. So it's right about where they were a few minutes ago before throwing interception, then getting the ball back on the strip. Clock running, 4:48 to play, first half, first and 10. 32-yard line of Peoria, 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Fake it to the man in motion, and Shepherd's looking end zone all the way. Lofts a nice ball over the top, but it's incomplete, looking for Christian Aragon. There was contact with the receiver, but not defensive pass interference. Second and 10 now. You really want to end the half, obviously, getting something out of the sustained possession here if you're Sunrise Mountain. They won't get the ball to start the second half because Peoria won the toss and deferred. 4:36 to play, first half, second and 10. Shepherd throws it again complete. Castro, and Castro's going to be knocked down at about the 29-yard line, but we've got a flag down. Pat Peters talking it over with his crew, and it's going to be against the Panthers again, and they'll march this one down. It's another face mask call. Again, so that's tacked on to the end, and Doug Clapp, looks like he's trying to get a timeout called, and he will get a timeout called. That's their third and final timeout with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the first half, and a little sloppiness on the part of the guys in green, and so Doug Clapp and his coaching staff want to settle their guys down. Sometimes you can lose focus with a big lead or a big deficit either way, but right now on this last drive, Sunrise Mountain has looked pretty focused. They're getting things done offensively, and now it's up to Peoria to try to stop them.
That they have. Peoria already 3 face mask penalties already in the game, 2 of which on this drive. Mustangs finally sustaining some offensive success. As they look to create some momentum heading into halftime. Momentum and points, down 27-0.
Take the points for sure. So the face mask ran it down to the 14-yard line. It's first and 10, Sunrise Mountain. Looking to salvage something here late in the first half. Shepherd with receivers left and right, fakes to the motion man, takes it up the middle himself. Max Shepherd gets away from one man and gets over for the touchdown. Mustang touchdown. Max Shepherd, 14-yard run.
Shepard faced some contact there, a couple of Panther tacklers. Instead of going down, he bounced right off them and cruises on into the end zone. And just like that, the Mustangs are on the board late here in the second quarter.
So in that drive, they go 8 plays and 81 yards. Ryan Hawkins drills the extra point. And with 4 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first half, Sunrise Mountain on the board, trailing 27-7, but you got to like the way they moved the ball on those last 2 possessions. It was one possession with an interception in the middle, but they held the ball there for basically 5.5 minutes, got a touchdown out of it.
You do have to like that drive. Sunrise Mountain finally starting to look like the team that averages over 41 points a game. 8 plays, 81 yards, and they get on the board. They had success both on the ground, in the air. Max Shepard did it all. We saw him power it in there on the ground to get the touchdown. He completed a couple nice passes to Christian Miller.
Now here, Ryan Hawkins is very adept at the onside kick. This is his first kickoff of the game, obviously. But he has this little move where he'll kind of drag the ball along next to him as if it's a drag bunt with the baseball playoffs beginning tonight. So we'll see if Hawkins, he can do that. He can also just drill the ball right out of the end zone. We'll see what happens. He's just going to try to drill it right out of the end zone, and the return man for Peoria watches this one, sails to the end line. Touchback, 1st and 10 Panthers at their own 20, but they've given up their first points of the night.
Yeah, Hawkins, as you mentioned, is good at a drag onside kick, but he's also good at smashing the ball downfield. That's his 25th touchback of the year. He averages over 64 yards per kickoff, so he's got some power in that leg of his.
Kicked 15 field goals a year ago. Is a little bit off that pace this year. It's got 7 coming in, but the Mustangs have been scoring more touchdowns this year than they did last year, so that's why he may not get a chance to break the state record of 19. First 10 from the 20, clock running, 4:23 to play. And here come the Peoria Panthers. It's Rojas again from the 20. Rojas trying to outrun the opposition. They've got an angle on him, and they finally force him out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
One play after the Mustangs get on the board, they get some offensive movement, a little momentum. Rojas continues what he's done all game long, and just like that, the Panthers have another strong offensive drive in the making. Rojas just exploded there.
He can make things happen in a hurry. A 50-yard run on first down. Puts the ball at the Sunrise Mountain 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Rojas has a long touchdown pass. There a long run, a short touchdown run. Now 1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. They'll pitch it this time to Bealey. Bealey stops, cuts back up inside. It's inside the 20 for a first down to the 17. Gain of 13 for Bealey.
So it's not Rojas, it's Bealey now, and he continues to move the chains. A first down for Peoria.
Remember, the Panthers have taken all 3 of their timeouts. They just took one defensively on that last drive by Sunrise Mountain, so they have no timeouts remaining. They do lead by 20, but under 4 minutes to go. And if Sunrise Mountain takes any sort of momentum or inspiration from scoring on their last drive and can stop them here, we might have a football game again. Bealey in the offset eye will take the handoff, and he's going to be met there and dropped by Dylan Pensinger, the sophomore defensive lineman. Drops him for a loss back to the 19.
Tremendous job there by the defensive line and Pensington. It's kind of a gut check time if you're Sunrise Mountain defense.
Well, look who's coming back in. Number 33, Ira Rojas, returns to the game. Clock running, 3:13 to play in the half as Salute has the play. Coach Doug Clapp. Back to the 20, officially a loss of 3 on that play. Salute again. We'll go to Rojas. Rojas will cut it back inside, and the Sunrise Mountain defense was there waiting for him. Again, it's Pensinger on the stop. And Rojas gets about 2. Down to the 18.
Dominic Noble was in on that tackle as well. The Mustangs taking a multiple person approach if they're going to try and stop Rojas. 3 Mustang defenders in there.
So officially a 1-yard gain to the 19. Peoria taking their time getting the play call into Salute, and I don't know that he's going to be able to get the ball snapped before they run out of time, but we'll see here. 3rd and 12. Key play here from the 19. Only a couple seconds left before they need to snap the ball, and they don't do it. Too much time. They just were unable to get the play in time for Salute to have much time to get everything set. So with 2:03 to play, it'll back them up 5, and it'll be 3rd and 17 from the 24. Now Salute has the play. This would be a big stop for Sunrise Mountain. If they can get the ball back, they'll have 2 timeouts remaining. Bealey, the tailback. Only man in the backfield besides Nick Salute. Fakes to Rojas, and he's going to gets out of Devin Koivisto's grasp, but he's finally taken down for the sack. Corey Brown, the linebacker, got through and dropped Salute for a loss. All the way back to the 33-yard line, 9-yard sack. Bryce Perez has not kicked a field goal yet this season. And he's not going to get the chance to kick one here. 4th and 26 from the 33-yard line. Salute drops back. Looks long, looking for Aguirre, and it's going to be over his head.
Aguirre had separation there. Salute can get a better throw on that. That's another 6 points. Aguirre's speed just too much a little bit right there for the Sunrise Mountain secondary.
So big defensive stop by Sunrise Mountain. They get the sack and then the incompletion on 4th down. They get the ball back with 1:08 to go.
2 timeouts as well.
From their own 33. Long way to go, short time to get there, but as we've seen, this is a different Sunrise Mountain team their last couple of possessions. Try to get Haleman off the field. He was the 12th man. Now they'll flip it here to Castro. Castro can turn on the Jets. He gets a block here along the near side, and he's very close to the 1st down. Out across the 42-yard line. So we'll see. Yes, it's a 1st down, a 10-yard gain. Out to the 43. 56 seconds left in the half. 1st down from the 43. Shepherd has to move quickly as the clock started on the ready for play. Low snap. Shepherd throws it complete to Castro. Castro gets a block and gets out. He's finally pushed out of bounds over on the far side by Christian Tejada, but it's another 1st down.
Tremendous job right here by the Mustangs and Shepherd. Moving the ball quickly. 43.6 seconds left in this half.
21-yard gain on the catch by Castro. 43 seconds left. Shepherd now with a long count. He'll just take this one himself, and then he'll dump it across over the sideline, and it is complete to Castro. And it looks like Castro may have another 1st down. We got a flag down, though. I thought his receivers jumped early, but we'll see.
Right, looks like they did jump early a little bit.
It's actually an eligible man downfield, and that can happen when Shepherd, who's so adept at running the ball, rolls to his right. Some of those linemen just strayed downfield a little bit. So that'll back them up with 36 seconds to play. Back to the 43-yard line. 3 receivers to his left. Shepherd again picks up a low snap. Throws it here to Castro. Complete. Gets away from one man, but will not get away from those last 2 tacklers. And he doesn't get out of bounds either. But they will take a timeout. Their second.
Shepherd to Castro has turned into a very nice duo so far in this game. Castro was hit initially, stayed on his feet, picked up a couple extra yards, was unable to get out of bounds, but 23 seconds left.
Sunrise does take their second timeout. That completion to Castro down to the 31-yard line for a gain of 12. Got Shepherd unofficially now at 8 out of 16, coming back from missing on 4 of his first 5. And boy, if they can get something here in these final 24 seconds, Greg, this could be a very interesting third quarter, to say the least.
And good for the Mustangs. They faced a heck of a deficit, and they've gotten things rolling on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, could have cashed it in. You get blown out a week ago after having, being down 14-13. Next thing you know, you give up 50 unanswered points before you finally score, and then you fall behind 27-0 here. But they've just been a different team offensively since early in that second quarter. Shepherd now with a 2nd and 4 from the 31-yard line after the 12-yard gain. Shepherd's got 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Shepherd. And he's going to be brought down. Another sack as Peoria's Armando Velasquez gets in there. All the way back to the 36-yard line, and they'll spike it to stop the clock with 7.6 seconds.
That was a tremendous sack by Velasquez just when Shepherd and the Mustang offense was marching. Vasquez got through there, burst through the Sunrise Mountain O-line. Made a great play. Under 10 seconds left in this one. And it looks like Sunrise Mountain might go for the field goal.
Well,
perhaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hawkins has a tremendous leg, and this would be a 52-yard attempt. His season long is 53. Depending on when they spot it, this where he puts it down, this might be a 53-yarder. Well, Josh Ackerman-Blake, who's not normally the holder, is out for this one now. Ryan Hawkins has a tremendous leg. Told you his long field goal in the year is 53, but he's also got 46 and 43 yarders to his credit. This will be put down at the 43. This will be a 53-yard attempt by Ryan Hawkins. Hunter Wright will snap. Josh Ackerman-Blake puts it down, and that one never had a chance. I don't know if that was tipped at the line or what, but it's going to be returned here by Chris Chapman. And as the half ends, Chapman is down at the 46-yard line, so Sunrise Mountain has a promising drive and a missed field goal. And at the end of the first half of play, Sunrise has made it interesting. but they trail Peoria 27-7. Greg and I will be back with more, but for now, enjoy the little halftime show. We'll be back in a bit. 27-7 Peoria. You're watching IBNSports.com. So the third quarter is just about set to begin here at Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you. And Greg, it looked like the Panthers were going to run away and hide with this one, up 27-0. But then finally a sustained drive out of the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs. What did they do differently about midway through that first half?
Well, it all starts with Max Shepard. He got confidence. He made things happen both in the air and on the ground for the Mustangs. And you saw their first four drives, they get a first down here or there, but then they'd stall. Maybe it was a penalty, a drop pass, and things just weren't looking good for them. But they came back, they put together a touchdown drive, and the offensive line was crucial. They gave him more time to throw the ball. He found receivers. He found Castro on several huge plays. That was instrumental. And Max Shepard just looks like he had confidence. He was oozing. Nothing could stop him. These Panthers, they tried hard. Their defense tried to stop him, but he was marching downfield. They had that turnover. They got dropped back. No problem for him. He led them right back to the end zone.
You talk about defense, and it was Sunrise Mountain's defense, I think, that had the key stop when Peoria was driving late. Could have gone up even more. Instead, they stopped him, turned the ball over on downs. Now they're not going to get the ball to start the third quarter. And if you're Peoria, what do you do now?
You're Peoria, you give it to Rojas. Rojas has proven to be a huge weapon on the ground for the Panthers, and I don't know if the Mustangs can stop him yet. Yeah, we've seen Nick Salute throw the ball a little bit. The Mustangs have kind of stopped them. They came up with a huge down, but if you're Peoria, if you're Doug Clapp right now, give it to your best playmaker. Give it to Rojas.
Until they prove they can stop him. We'll see what happens now in the third quarter. So Ryan Hawkins, who put his last kickoff through the end zone. We'll see what he does with this one. Or whether they try that onside kick that we told you he is very adept at to get the ball back, or if they trust their defense to make another big stop. You talked about Max Shepard gaining confidence. Unofficially 8 of 17 for 99 yards in that first half after missing on 4 of his first 5 throws. Here's Hawkins. He'll just drill it through the end zone again. And so Peoria's first possession of the second half will come from their own 20. So now we'll see. Do they try to reestablish that dominance on the ground? Or does Nick Salute, who had a tremendous 81-yard touchdown throw to Sam Pineda, does he go back to the air? It'll be interesting to see what's in the mind of Doug Clapp here to start this third quarter in a big game that they need to get to even their record at 3-3.
You mentioned it's a big game. This is a big drive in this big game. They do have a comfortable 20-point lead, but they've been quiet offensively for the last part of that half. It'll be interesting to see what Clapp and the Panthers go for, and there it is, the ground.
Why not? Try to reestablish that dominance, and when you've got a back like Rojas who just will not go down, and Rojas is going to get a first down out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. That was a powerful 12-yard gain. Unofficially 102 yards at the half for Rojas. That would give him 114. This time they'll go to his running mate Bealey, and Eli Bealey has another first down. So if you said they would go back to the run, you win the prize. They're out to the 49-yard line in 2 plays.
Peoria came into this game averaging over 134 rushing yards. They've got to be getting close to that mark with Rojas and Bealey. 2 big gains to start the second half of play.
And a penalty here on Sunrise Mountain. Looks like it'll give them even more. After a 17-yard pickup. It's going to be a personal foul that'll be tacked on to the end of that run. So Peoria gets 29 yards on 2 runs, and then penalty will move it down to the 36-yard line. So an inauspicious start to the second half for Sunrise Mountain, but Peoria on the move. Salute in the short shotgun, puts Aguirre in motion, gives it to him again. It worked for 15 yards in the first half. He's trying to dance and pick out the way the ball is loose. And Sunrise Mountain looks like they've come up with it. They have. There was no whistle. So that might be the big turnover, as Christian Miller is the man at the bottom of the pile with the ball.
What a momentum swing for the Mustangs. Just when it looked like Rojas and company were marching back downfield, the Mustang defense strips that ball loose of Aguirre. Huge play right there, and all of a sudden, Max Shepard's back on the field.
First down from the Peoria 43. Here's Shepard now. It's safe in his hands, so they feel, and he's down to about the 36-yard line for a gain of 7. 2nd and 3. Boy, a couple of big plays defensively for Sunrise Mountain. They throw an interception, but then get the ball back, and then they come up with the fumble there as Aguirre coughed it up. This time again, they'll give it to Castro. Castro is hit hard and dropped short of the first down. Again, it's Chapman, Chris Chapman with a big hit. Close to the first down, about a yard short. 3rd and 1 at the 34. Shepard now will go under center and look to pick out a spot, gets away from Archuleta and gets the first down. Shepard gets to the 30 for a gain of 4. And first down to the Peoria 30. It's a very different Sunrise Mountain team than it was on their first 4 possessions when they had to punt all 4 times. The fake to Castro and getting inside the 30 to the 25 is Max Shepard, gain of about 5. Call it 6 on the gain by Shepard down to the 24. Now he'll go back in the gun. Bad snap. Shepard has to chase it, picks it up on a bounce. He got lucky there. He just throws that one away as he was in the clutches of a defender.
Shepard actually did a nice job there managing the crisis a little bit as he was going down. Threw it away. That prevented a huge loss.
He had Evan Ford all over him. And Peoria is going to take a timeout. Less than 3 minutes into the second half. It's going to be 3rd down at the 24, 3rd and 4. It's not often, you know how funny that ball bounces, Greg, so it's not often that you will get such a true bounce and able to turn that into probably the best possible thing you could get, you could hope for, is just an incomplete pass and not a huge loss or a fumble.
Oh, that was huge. That loss would have been devastating to Shepard and the Mustangs, who got the turnover, and now they're in good field position. But Ford was all over Shepard on that play. It looked like he had him. And a nice job by Max Shepard. Something between their 4th and 5th drives, they just flipped a switch. Completely different offensive team.
So 3rd and 4 from the 24-yard line of Peoria. Shepard with 2 receivers to his right, 3 receivers to his left, rather. Shepard sneaks up under center. Now he'll drop back. Seems to be a bit of confusion, and there is, and so Sunrise Mountain has to take a timeout. Sometimes you can be a little too tricky for your own good.
Yes.
So here's the situation. 9 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the third quarter from Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you. It's a 27-7 game, but Sunrise Mountain, if it's possible to have momentum in a game you're losing by 20, seems to have it at this point. Nice drive to score a touchdown in the second quarter. On a drive here in the third, but they've got to get to the 20-yard line to keep the drive alive. Now they'll overload that right side with 4 potential receivers. And Shepard's going to keep it himself. He's got the first down, bounces off tacklers, and is pushed over near the sideline, but not out inside the 20 to about the 18.
What do you know, another run from Shepard. He bounced off that first tackler, drove upfield, got a few more yards.
He does that quite a bit, doesn't he?
He does.
He bounces off people.
You can certainly see why he averages over 105 yards per game. Hard to take down.
7-yard gain down to the 17. But most importantly, first down, Sunrise Mountain. Shepard, no doubt what he was going to do on that play as he goes right up the middle. And he's going to be wrapped up and dropped there. Marco Barraza with the stop. Gain of about 5 for Shepard. 2nd and 5 from the 12. And this time it's Peoria jumping offside, and that should give the Mustangs another first down. And it will. So down to the 7-yard line. Sunrise Mountain with a chance to get right back in this game. 8.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. They trail it 27-7, but have a first and goal at the 7-yard line. They miss connection to the handoff with Castro, so Shepard keeps it himself. Pushes ahead for a couple of yards maybe before John Foltz brings him down.
Looks like Shepard wanted to give that ball to Castro as Castro was in motion. He was heading toward the left side. Peoria defender was right on in there. Made things a little bit difficult.
Loss of 1, back to the 8, 2nd and goal. This time they do get the play right to Castro. Castro heading for the flag on the left side. He's going to get there. Touchdown, Sunrise Mountain.
See Castro get the play right that they were hoping for one play before, and he bolted to the left side. It was a foot race to the corner, and he gets down in there. And we've got ourselves an interesting ball game, Ken.
Very interesting.
The Mustangs back in this one.
And it was the turnover that was key. They came up with the fumble recovery as Darius Aguirre put the ball on the ground, and now Ryan Hawkins with a chance for the extra point. And he puts it through. And so with 7 minutes and 56 seconds to play in the third, Sunrise Mountain has closed to within 27-14. Hawkins now 2nd in the state in kick scoring with 44 points. Bashes Justin Barber, the state leader, but Hawkins getting a lot of chances. He had his only field goal attempt, looked like it was partially blocked at the line of scrimmage from 53 yards to end that first half of play. But he's nailed his last 2 extra points, and his team is back within 13. And it's cliche, Greg, but that missed extra point by Peoria after their third touchdown seemed meaningless at the time. Instead of being 21-0, it was 20-0, but now at 27-14, it may loom a little bit larger.
That's right. At the time, it was like, whoa, big deal, 1 point. Peoria was just running all over the Mustangs, but that coupled with the crucial turnover that gave the Mustangs a chance to put 7 on the board. So those little things can come back to haunt you.
Sunrise Mountain scored touchdowns on 2 of their last 3 possessions. The other one ended in a missed field goal attempt. And now Hawkins does that little drag bunt action, but it's going to be covered nicely by Peoria. At least it looked like initially, but they're going to have to sort who's out at the bottom of this pile. And it is Peoria's Travis B., senior defensive lineman. Good hands there as he fell on that one.
It's a tremendous job right there by B.
That's a good call, I thought, to go for the. You got nothing to lose at this point. You know, that could have been a very big momentum shift if they'd landed on it, but instead they'll give up the ball at the 49-yard line and see if Peoria again goes back to the run that was so successful for them in the first half. They will on first down. It's Rojas across midfield and down to the 45 for a gain of 6.
You got to wonder if the Panthers are going to rely more on Rojas here. Last possession, they got Aguirre involved. He fumbled. But as far as I'm concerned, the Mustangs haven't proved too well to stop Rojas. Might turn into a one-man show here.
Now Bealey is in as they alternate those two. At tailback, no, it's Rojas rather. And Rojas has the first down, and he's inside the 40 to about the 38 for a gain of 7. Rojas and Bealey had been alternating plays a lot through the first half, but Rojas stayed in there and gets down to the 37.5. And now Rojas will come out. That'll be first down, 38-yard line. Under 7 minutes to play in the third. And they'll go to Bealey. Bealey gets a couple down to the 36. Sunrise Mountain needs a stop or a turnover here as Salute comes back into the game. He's been going over to the sidelines to get the play. We'll have Bealey. Courtney Workman is the fullback, blocking for Bealey as Bealey bursts inside the 30, inside the 25, and down to the 20-yard line. 16-yard gain for Bealey.
It was a great block right there by Workman, giving Bealey a zone to go burst through. Rojas is going to come back into the game, but great job right there by Bealey.
Would you call it a Workman-like block?
Yes, I would.
And you'd be correct. First down to the 20 with just under 6 minutes to play now in the third quarter. And we said that if Peoria went back to the run game, that might be the solution. Rojas back in now, second man in the eye. Gets it and cuts inside, spins off one tackler before he's finally knocked down, but another good gain by Rojas. And he's brought down by Dylan Pensinger, but a 7-yard gain. So it'll be second and short now, clock running 5:15, third quarter. Now Rojas, the lone setback. He'll get the handoff again, makes one man miss, and they gang tackle him there. John Drago at the top of the pile. Maybe gets a yard down to the 12.
That's the kind of stop the Mustangs are going to have to deal with and come through with. On Rojas, you saw Drago and a slew of Mustang defenders. It took many of them, but they got the job done.
It would be what is a group of horses? A herd?
A herd of Mustangs.
Herd of Mustangs. 4.5 minutes to play. Again, they go to the ground. Again, it's Rojas, and again, he has the first down. And he's going to be inside the 10, maybe down to the 5. They'll call it the 6-yard line, gain of 7. So now a sustained drive by Peoria has them, after they recovered the onside kick, with a 1st and goal from the 6-yard line of Sunrise Mountain. Again, backs in the eye. Rojas looking to pick out a hole. He cannot find one, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Tremendous pursuit there by Corey Brown and Dominic Noble, the linebackers, who came through and dropped him for a 2-yard loss.
Brown and Noble just got there, brought him down before he could get anywhere. That's a tremendous play, just what they needed there as Rojas was marching toward the goal line.
Unofficially, the first time he's been stopped for a loss so far tonight. He's had a couple of times where he got back to the line of scrimmage, but he's dropped for a 2-yard loss back to the 8. 2nd and goal there. 3:28 to play in the 3rd. Clock running. Now it's Bealey in the offset eye behind Workman. They'll give it to Bealey. Bealey keeps those legs churning, gets inside the 5, maybe to the 3. And it'll be 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Ninth play of the drive, all on the ground. Rojas in the offset eye behind Workman on 3rd and goal from the 3. Rojas is over for the touchdown. Ira Rojas, his 2nd short touchdown run of the game, puts his team up 33-14 with the extra point coming.
Rojas just powered in with ease. And as we suspected, the Panthers went back to the running game, and it proved to work once again. You got to think that's what their key to success will be for the rest of this game as they look to keep Sunrise Mountain at a far distance.
Bryce Perez's left-footed extra point is true, and with 2 minutes and 37 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter at Peoria High School, the homestanding Panthers lead the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs now by a score of 34-14. They've reestablished that 20-0 lead, or that 20-point lead that they had just 4 seconds into the 2nd quarter. But it has a totally different feeling right now, Greg, because Sunrise Mountain has shown that they can sustain a drive now, and I think this game has got many more points left in it.
That it does. Earlier in the game, whenever Rojas powered in the end zone, you thought, oh, what do you know, another touchdown. But this time, Max Shepard and the Mustangs, they bring a whole new element to this game. Yes, it's a 20-point difference, a 20-point margin, but the Mustangs, like you said, Ken, have proven that they can put points on the board. This one's far from over, I'm sure.
So the decision to go with the onside kick results in a shorter field than normal for Peoria. They go 51 yards in 9 plays. It'll take 5+ minutes. Perez now kicks off to the 6. And Elijah Castro is out to about the 27-yard line, 21-yard return. And Sunrise will shut up shop there with 2 minutes and 29 seconds to go in the quarter. Here's where we see now, does Max Shepard keep it himself? Does he use that newly found confidence with his throwing arm? Do they try to hook up with Castro again?
Well, I think the Mustangs had the most success offensively when they used all of their weapons. Max Shepard's running game, his arm, he was hitting Christian Miller for some passes, Christian Aragon, and of course Castro.
Shepard will keep this one himself. Burst to the outside, down the sideline, and Shepard is going to go the distance. 63-yard touchdown run, Max Shepard. What a game.
Well, he just answered our question. He's going to do it himself on the ground. He wastes little time in answering the Panther touchdown with a touchdown of his own. Burst to the outside. And like what we've seen from Peoria's running game, Max Shepard can do just the same, as he did that with ease. Got to the outside, outran a pair of Peoria defenders down near the 30-yard line. And just like that, the Mustangs are back in this one.
Adam Hawkins' point after is good. And with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play, we've had touchdowns on each of the last 3 possessions. 2 of them by Sunrise Mountain, who now trails it 34-21. Max Shepard, a 63-yard run. We've had 2 touchdowns in the span of 20 seconds.
High-octane offense right now.
And something we did not expect to see after Sunrise Mountain went 3 and out on their first 4 possessions.
21 points. Looked like a huge long shot after those first 4 drives. Shepard and the Mustangs could not get anything going in the air, on the ground, nothing.
They seem to have found the offensive spark that they had through the first 4 games when they scored 46, 38, 45, and 48 points. It was only last week that they were held to under 30 for the first time of the season. They've got 21 tonight, but still plenty of time left. 2:17 left in the third quarter. And I don't know, do you go back to the onside kick or just put it out of the end zone and try to stop Peoria and get the ball back in decent field position? We'll see. Hawkins will drill it deep as you can. It's always funny to watch the receivers not even move. You just see their heads move as it flies over their head. And so it'll be first down Peoria at their own 20-yard line with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to play in the third. Well, I'd ask again, but I think I already know the answer. You just keep giving it to Rojas here. You've got the 13-point lead. You've got the ball.
And if it's not Rojas, it's Bealey.
Either way. So here's where that defense of Sunrise, Drew Johnson, Grant Olton, Devin Coivisto, the guys up front, need to get some penetration and stop those runs. Here's Rojas, and they do exactly get that penetration, and they get to the ball carrier in a bad mood.
There's that herd of Mustangs again.
Colton Demers, just one of the white shirts in there to stop Rojas for no gain.
This Sunrise Mountain defense has some playmakers, whether it's Demers, Noble, or one of their defensive backs in John Drago. Raymond Flores, of course, #1 tackler.
They've got speed on the outside. And now Salute. Go back again in the short shotgun on 2nd and 10. He's looking to throw for the first time here in the second half. Finds Aguirre. Aguirre gets a block. Aguirre down the sideline. Another touchdown. Can you believe what's happening in this game? Aguirre goes 80 yards for the touchdown. It's his second long touchdown play of the night.
If you're the Mustangs there, you might have guessed or predicted that the Panthers would go back on the ground. Instead, Salute finds Aguirre, who, of course, the last time they went his way, he fumbled, a costly fumble. This time he hauls it in, runs 80 yards. That was a great catch. Throws a bit in front of him. He went and got it and went untouched with ease into the end zone. Wow.
And Salute, unofficially, I had him missing in his last 5 passes and was just 1 of 6 before that one. As Perez boots the extra point through. And with 1:20 to play, it's now 41-21 Peoria.
Who would have thought this would turn into a shootout?
We've had 4 touchdowns in the third quarter, and 3 of them in the last 77 seconds of clock time. Four consecutive possessions with touchdown. This is like an arena game. The Panthers go 80 yards in 2 plays in 57 seconds. Aguirre with an 80-yard touchdown pass from Nick Salute. So Aguirre now has touchdown receptions of 80 and 76 yards. The 76-yarder was from Rojas in the first quarter. And Perez drills it to the 5-yard line where Castro has it there. Out, still going to about the 35-yard line. And a bunch of green shirts finally bring him down there.
Great job by Castro right there. Had a lot of contact early on. After he caught that ball, kept powering forward. This is a guy who averages over 34 yards per kickoff return. And the Mustangs will take over at their own 36.
9 touchdowns in this game. 62 points rather. And with 1:10 to play in the third. This is like playing in the backyard with your friends. Max Shepard's still in there now on 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Shepard back to throw, and he's going to go deep. Catching it in stride and going in is Eric Esparza.
Wow. And the Mustangs respond with a touchdown of their own. The 4th touchdown, the 5th touchdown in the third quarter. It took one play.
64 yards. We've had touchdowns on 3 of the check that. 4 of the last 5 offensive plays have gone for touchdowns and long ones. 3 of the last, they've been long touchdowns. 63, 80, and 64 yards. This is a game that gives defensive coordinators nightmares as Ryan Hawkins boots it through. And with 1:01 to play in the third quarter, it's Peoria 41, Sunrise Mountain 28. I want to remind you to tune in to 12 News tonight at 11:35 p.m. for Friday Night Fever, live with Bruce Cooper and crew. It's everything an Arizona high school football fanatic needs, from incredible plays to fierce rivalries and amazing comebacks. Catch highlights, scores, and video on demand at FridayNightFever.azcentral.com. We're at Peoria High School, Peoria, Arizona. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you on IBNSports.com, or you may even be watching us on azcentral.com. New partnership this year. Or you may be watching us on YouTube on demand after the fact, wherever you're watching us. We appreciate you tuning in. We hope you're enjoying this one. We are. It's 41-28, still with 1 minute to play in the third quarter. It's just turned in from a rout into a wild game that might end up with whoever has the ball last winning it.
Yeah, if you're into a lot of offense, I'm sure you're enjoying watching this one. There's been plenty of it.
Sunrise Mountain obviously has some work to do. They're still down 13, and it would start defensively here, as let's try not to give up a touchdown for the 4th time in 5 plays. But it has turned into a shootout here. Didn't look like that way early on when Peoria burst out to a 27-0 lead less than 2 minutes into the second quarter. But a light switch turned on the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs. And now, if they can come up with a stop here, they can make this even more interesting. 1st and 10 Peoria, and they'll give it to Workman for the first time tonight, and the big fullback gets dropped there by a host of Sunrise Mountain Mustangs. So a play that did not go for a touchdown, but Workman gets a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 to the 22-yard line. Maybe one more play left in this wild third quarter that has seen 5 touchdowns scored, 3 by Sunrise Mountain. And now they're going to stop the clock. Maybe a little bit of confusion as to exactly how much time is left. The officiating crew is going to talk this one over. This was a 2-yard gain by fullback Workman, only his 5th carry of the year coming in, carry of the year, and 4 coming in. So now they're resetting the clock to 31 seconds in the third. And there we go. on 2nd and 8 from the 22. And now a flag. And we're going to have an offside call. Offside on Sunrise Mountain. So that'll turn a 2nd and 8 into a 2nd and 3. So that'll change things a bit. Eli Bealey checks out. Well, it might be the last play of the third quarter from the 27-yard line. 2nd and 3, and they'll give it to Rojas. Rojas is going to be gang tackled, but he's out across the 30, and that'll be enough for a first down. And that should be the end of the third quarter, and it will be. So we'll step aside and bring you the exciting finish to this one. After 3 quarters of play in Peoria, the Panthers lead the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs 41-28. Stick around, more excitement to come after this. So the fourth quarter begins, and if it's anything like the third quarter, you're in for a wild ride. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you. It's Peoria 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Salute pump fakes, goes long, has a man, it's caught, and Pineda. Yep, fourth quarter is going to be pretty much like the third quarter. 69-yard touchdown bomb to Pineda, his second long touchdown catch of the night.
Well, the Panthers and Nick Salute wasted little time here in the fourth quarter to strike again. The offensive shootout continues. That was an absolute perfect throw to a wide open Pineda. He got distance, he got separation, and just like that, the Panthers strike again. Another touchdown, Ken. Goodness.
And the Bryce Perez point after is true. And with 11 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter, it's Peoria 48, Sunrise Mountain 28, and that was a little longer of a scoring drive. It took 21 seconds and 4 plays for them to go 80 yards, but we've now had 6 consecutive possessions and in touchdowns, Greg.
Defense not playing a particularly big part in this one.
To say the least. The last 8 plays, 4 have gone for touchdowns, and all 4 have been 63 yards or more. All we need now is a long kickoff return. And I wouldn't put it past one of these two teams. Perez, whose leg is getting a workout tonight, both kicking off and kicking extra points. Left puts it deep, and it will go into the end zone. Nick Haleman just watched it sail over his head, and Sunrise Mountain will get the ball back. Just 10 seconds into the fourth quarter. They'll have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line with tons of confidence. Still staring at a 20-point deficit, but you got to feel that they feel now they can score every time they've got the football.
Oh, no question. If you're James Carter, you're telling your defense, just give me a couple stops. With Max Shepard, the way he's playing right now, it looks like he is not even close to stopping.
Now some confusion among his receivers. Sets him here. 3 to his right, 2 to his left, and timeout, Peoria. So I don't know if that'll be a factor later on, but that's Peoria's second timeout. And that comes with 11:50 to go in the game. Tune into 12 News tonight at 11:35 p.m. for Friday Night Fever, live with Bruce Cooper and crew. It's everything an Arizona high school football fanatic needs. From incredible plays to fierce rivalries and amazing comebacks, catch highlights, scores, and video on demand at FridayNightFever.azcentral.com. You'd have to hope that if the Friday Night Fever crew was here, that if they left early, they're missing out on the story, because it was all Peoria early as they burst out to a 27-0 lead. They still lead by 20, but it doesn't feel anything like it did at that point. Sunrise Mountain with the ball back, 1st and 10 to their own 20-yard line. 11:50 to play in the fourth quarter. And out of the Peoria timeout, Max Shepard with 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Again, doesn't need any of them, takes it himself. Crossed the 30, and he's upended by Chris Chapman, the All-State defensive player, but not before an 11-yard gain by Max Shepard. Shepard again with 3 receivers to his right. Looks left quickly. Gets away from one would-be tackler and a second and a third, and finally throws it and short hops it.
Shepard's legs have not only helped him put points on the board, but they also help him avoid trouble there. Nice job getting away from the oncoming onslaught of the Peoria defense. He throws the ball away and avoids a loss.
Short hop that there to Christian Aragon, and now it's 2nd and 10 from the 31. They'll stack receivers on the right side, and now they'll put Castro in motion. They'll hand it to Castro. He stiff arms one defender, still on his feet, dancing along that far sideline, and a flag comes in late. Might be a hold. We'll have to check. Actually, there's a few flags in the field. They're all going back to that same point, and out there on that corner, you'd have to feel like potentially a holding call that sprung him. It's a illegal use of hands on Sunrise Mountain. So we've had a few plays in a row, Greg, with no touchdowns. I'm starting to miss it.
This is rare. For a while there, it was just touchdown after touchdown. And a lot of them, take 3 plays or less, they get on the board, we'd start it all over again. But here, both defenses starting to show a little power. Playing well.
So they'll mark it back to the 17-yard line. Second and 24. Shepard takes the step, throws it across the middle. It's complete. And Drago makes his first catch of the evening, and he's out to about the 32-yard line. Gain of 15.
Kind of surprising to hear that Drago just now made his first catch. We're here in the fourth quarter. He is the leading receiver. 12 catches, 432 yards, and a touchdown coming in tonight.
So it gets him a little closer. 3rd and 8 now. Key play in this game in the fourth quarter as Shepard throws across the middle, and it will go off Drago's hands, incomplete. Actually, that's Aragon. 3, not 2. And I'd say decision time, but at this point in a game like this, you've pretty much got to go for it here, wouldn't you think?
I'd agree with you.
You're down 20.
4th and 8.
It's a little closer. You might not. You might punt and take your chances, but I don't know. The way these two teams have been trading touchdowns back and forth, punting may not be an option the rest of the way. Castro comes in and has words with Shepard. I don't know if he spotted something defensively, but let's see if they look for him. Shepard can't get away from Bryce Perez, who drops him for the sack, and finally a drive that does not end in a touchdown.
Mustangs go for it on 4th and 8. It was Perez, like you said, who just burst through there, brings down Shepard. Shepard had no time to get anything done.
Yeah, it gives him a short field here to the 31, 1st and 10 with 10:28 to play in the game. Peoria leading by 20, and here's where you go for the jugular if you're Doug Clapp. But you can do it slowly by just pounding the ball between Rojas and his running mate Bealey. And they'll stay on the ground for the first down play, and getting his first carry of the night is Adrian Enriquez.
Peoria's starting to spread the wealth around. In addition to Rojas and Bealey, we see Enriquez here. Workman had a carry recently.
So Enriquez gets down to the 27-yard line. Enriquez came in as their third leading rusher with 113 yards. 5'9" senior. He'll stay in the game now as the second man in the eye, and he'll get the ball. Fresh legs. Good strategy, looks like, and he is down to the 20-yard line for a first down, it appears. We're very close to it. Yep, that is a first down. 7-yard gain.
As you predicted, Ken, it looks like Doug Clapp will have his Panther offense slowly tick away at the clock while marching toward the end zone simultaneously.
Just bleeds you to death.
That it does.
Bealey comes back in as Enriquez checks out after 2 carries and 11 yards. First down, 20-yard line. Just outside it to the 21. Here's Bealey trying to get to the corner. His legs are still pumping, and they finally whistle this one as Devin Coivisto had a handful of his shirt, and we've got a flag down as well. Been a relatively clean game from penalty perspective.
Peoria has been hit with, I think, 3 face masks.
Oh, and then we got a horse collar. First call of those we've seen actually this season. New rule put into effect a couple of years ago. And so it'll be tacked on to the end of the run, and so Peoria is going to move closer and closer to that Sunrise Mountain goal. They lead it by 20, 48-28 with 9 minutes and 14 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. So the horse collar tackle moves the ball to the 14-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 there. Clock running, 9:06 to play in the game. Peoria again lines up in the eye. Salute will give it here. It's Bealey. Bealey getting to the outside and getting pushed out of bounds for a gain of about 3. Looks like he's pushed out at about the 11, where it'll be 2nd and 7. But they did push him out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 8 minutes and 52 seconds to play. Salute now on 2nd and 1 from the 11 after the 9-yard gain. We'll give it to Workman. And Workman pulls his way toward the end zone, and he's close, but he's down to about the 1. It'll be 1st and goal. Boy, these guys have so many weapons.
That they do. If it's not Rojas or Bealey, now we've seen Enriquez, and there was Workman just fighting his way through this rushing attack from the Panthers. Just impressive.
9-yard gain down to the 2. Just Workman's second carry, just to keep you honest. 8.5 minutes to play. Peoria leading 48-28 and looking for more. Salute from under center. First man through. Workman walks into the end zone. It's all you can eat at the touchdown buffet tonight, folks. 8:21 to play in the game, and Peoria over the 50-point mark now with 54 with the extra point coming.
That's Workman's first touchdown of the season, and he just went in rather easily. And as you mentioned, Peoria over the 50-point mark. Coming into tonight, they averaged just 22.6 points per game.
And they were shut out at Cactus. Perez, a rough snap, but Perez got it through. And so Peoria has reestablished a big lead with 2 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter, and they lead at 55-28 after Sunrise Mountain had gotten within 13. But Courtney Workman's 2-yard touchdown run makes it 55-28. Rojas unofficially 146 yards on the ground on 20 carries through 3 quarters. Everybody's been getting in the act tonight, racking up offensive stats. And this is all over. We might see 600-700 yards of total offense between these two teams. Still some encouraging signs, at least offensively, if you're this young Sunrise Mountain team, coming off a horrible loss a week ago. Obviously, they've got some defensive issues to nail down, and they will. They've got a lot of young players on defense, a lot of speed. But they've proven they can move the football. And anybody who plays with them they've been in a fight. Here's Perez. Left footer, drilled into the end zone, touchback. 8:21 to play in the game. And Sunrise will take over at their own 20-yard line.
I completely agree with you, Ken. I think if you are Sunrise Mountain, you take a lot of positives offensively from this game, no matter the final score. Max Shepard has proven himself to be a very capable leader offensively. He makes things happen. Is a good commander of that offense. And with him, Elijah Castro, John Drago, Christian Aragon, and Christian Miller, definitely several potent weapons on the offensive side of the ball for the Mustangs. If they can figure things out on defense, they're going to be a challenging team down the road.
Shepard now. Hit and dropped. Aaron Stanley, they say, with that stop. Listed as number 89 on our roster, but wearing number 10 out there. Drop Shepard for no gain. 2nd and 10 now from the 20. And now it's actually Josh Ackerman Blake who's come into the game, and his first pass is complete. Out to that left-hand side to Hayden Pate. So as we saw last week, Max Shepard replaced in the fourth quarter by Josh Ackerman Blake. Ackerman Blake had a nice little game in mop-up duty, 6 out of 10 for 106 yards and a pair of scores after his first throw was intercepted against Liberty. They get out to the 31-yard line now, 1st and 10. I'll give this one to Castro. Castro spins away from a tackler, and he was just dragging Nakeem Lewis along for the ride. And he's out across the 45 to the 46 for a 15-yard gain. Well, last week he rallied the Mustangs to 16 points late with those 2 touchdown passes, and if he can do it here, he can at least make things a little more interesting. The big senior, a little different player. He can run a bit. Not quite like Max Shepard, and he misses connections there across the middle with his receiver Nick Haleman.
Well, he hit Nick Haleman there right in the hands, right there. Nick couldn't haul it in. Not exactly what you're hoping for from your wide receiver, if you're Ackerman Blake, as he tries to spark a late rally or make things a little more interesting for the Mustangs.
Drops back, stands tall in the pocket, flips it out here on the right side. It is complete to Hayden Pate. And Pate is across midfield down to about the 46-yard line of Peoria. Short of the first down, it'll be 3rd and short. Gain of 8. Third and 4. So obviously gain of 6, not 8. Ackerman Blake throws it out and a huge hit. Tremendous hit by Christian Tejada on the receiver just as soon as Haleman hit, that ball hit his hands. That's a first down, but first down both of those guys are going to remember in the morning.
Haleman went nowhere. As soon as he caught that ball, he was drilled by Tejada. What a great play.
4-yard gain. Ackerman Blake completes this pass down to the left-hand side. It's going to be another first down. Goes to Drago. It's his second catch of the game. Down to the 22, gain of 20.
You gotta like what Ackerman Blake's doing so far since taking over under center, moving the chains, making the Mustangs drive downfield.
Not a lot of pressure here, but he's doing what you expect. He will hand this one up off the middle to Nick Haleman. And Haleman is spun way back. He's going to get maybe a loss of 1 when all is said and done. Could have been much worse. And Haleman's going to sit down holding his right knee, and so the athletic training staff will come out and have a look at him. Well, this has been an incredibly exciting game that looked like it was going to be a blowout early on as Peoria jumped out to a 27-0 lead, but Sunrise Mountain cut it to 27-14 in the third quarter, and then things really got interesting as we had 5 touchdowns in that third quarter. We've got 2 more here in the fourth, both by Peoria, though, and that is why the Panthers are up by 27 points with 5.5 minutes to play in this game. So it just goes to show you never really can tell on any given Friday night what you're going to wind up with. We've had a tremendously exciting game here. Lots of offense. If you like seeing footballs in the air, you saw a lot of it tonight. Sunrise Mountain will host North next Thursday night, while Peoria goes to Dysart. Loss of 2 officially. Second down at the 24-yard line. 12 yards to go. Ackerman Blake half pumps once, now throws it up into the end zone, incomplete, and could have seen an offensive pass interference call there. Wouldn't have been surprised as Eric Esparza may have pushed off a bit, but no flag. Probably a wise no call with a 27-point game, 5.5 minutes to play. Tenth play of the drive coming up for Sunrise Mountain here. Trail it by 27 points with 5 minutes and 22 seconds to play in the game. Josh Ackerman Blake has relieved Max Shepard at quarterback. And they'll look at a 3rd and 12 here from the Peoria 24-yard line. Under pressure, throws across the middle, incomplete for Esparza.
Looks like Ackerman Blake just wanted to get rid of that ball. He had a lot of pressure. He fired up the middle quickly, but Esparza wasn't there, and that ball will fall.
Nick Haleman has returned to the lineup, and they're going to send Ryan Hawkins out to try a long field goal. his 7 field goals on the year, leads Division III, and they're 4th best in the state overall. Desert Mountain's Matt Foley is 9 for 9. This will be a 41-yard attempt off the right foot of Ryan Hawkins. The snap is down. Hawkins sends it towards the goal, and it's good.
41-yarder right there by Hawkins. Of course, he missed a 53-yarder, which would have tied his career high early in the game. He splits the uprights on that one with ease.
We actually went 3 minutes and 8 seconds of clock time without anybody scoring, which is an eternity in this game tonight. 41-yard field goal by Hawkins with 5:13 to play makes it 55-31. 86 points scored here tonight, and we've still got 5 minutes plus. And wouldn't be surprised to see that onside kick be trotted out here again. We'll see. Ken Tomash and Greg Dillard with you from Peoria High School in Peoria, Arizona. Week 6 of the Arizona high school football season. Glad you're with us on IBNSports.com. It sure looks like Peoria is expecting the onside kick, as they've got a lot of skill position players standing at midfield. The last one did not work. We'll see what happens here with 5:13 to play. Field goal made it a 55-31 game. Hawkins will send it high and a little bit short. Aguirre comes down with it at the 5. Dances to the outside. Gets a block from Chapman. Aguirre going in slow motion, but still going. Now he'll turn on the Jets. And Hawkins is trying to chase him down from behind, and it was his own man who tripped him up. Adrian Enriquez, I don't know if he clipped his heel or what, but Hawkins was trying to get in and make the tackle, but still a huge return by Darius Aguirre. He's been the master of the big play tonight.
You're right, he has. It looked like Enriquez did kind of clip his heel, his leg there. If that doesn't happen, that's another 6 points for the Panthers. But how about Aguirre just getting a huge block from Chapman? Several more blocks near midfield. Stays on his feet here near the sideline.
71-yard return down to the 24-yard line. And with under 5 minutes to play, see if the Panthers keep it on the ground. They will on the first play at least. And Enriquez, who got 11 yards on his first 2 carries, goes up the middle for a few. Inside the 22, call it a gain of 3. Now Salute has the play. Peoria at home in the green and gold lead the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs 55-31. Clock running, 4 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the game. 2nd and 7 from the 21-yard line. And I think Salute, again, may have taken too much time. Yep. Second time tonight there's been a delay of game call on the Panthers, who are looking to even their record at 3-3 with a trip to Dysart coming up next week. Remember, this is a team that made a huge run after starting last season 1-2. They won 8 straight games before losing in the state playoffs. They lead it here 55-31. 2nd and 12 from the 26. Enriquez again. Inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line for a gain of about 9. Clock continues to tick. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game. And Peoria is content to milk every little bit out of it. Just keep the ball on the ground. Hard to argue with the results at this point. 3rd and 3 from the Sunrise Mountain 17. I'll pitch it right to Enriquez. He's being chased down from behind, and they get him for a loss. Hayden Pate with a nice stop. As they drop him for a 4-yard loss back to the 21.
It's not often that you've seen anybody in the Peoria backfield get hit for a loss. Nice job by Pate there getting back there.
Good penetration with a host of guys in white shirts. Clock continues to run. 2:45 now to play in the game. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 21. And obviously Peoria is content to try to pick up this first down on the ground. Tight eye here with Enriquez, and they got Sunrise Mountain to jump offside. It'll be 4th and 2 instead of 4th and 7. So 4th and 2 now from the 16. Peoria leads at 55-31. Eli Bealey is back in the game. Sweeps to the left side. He's got the first down. He's trying to get to the flag, and he won't. He'll get out of bounds, but he'll get close, and it'll be first down and goal. Down to the 3, 13-yard gain. And we've got a flag back behind that play, and it's going to be on Peoria. So that'll march them back. The call from Pat Peters is a hold. So we'll be back to the 28-yard line. Fourth and 14. Salute will just hand it to Bealey. Bealey still on his feet. Gets down to about the 20 for gain of 8, but not nearly enough to get the first down. And so Sunrise Mountain will get the ball back maybe for the final time in this game, maybe not. We've seen touchdowns fast and furious, so there's enough time to have 3 or 4 more here in the last 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
Touchdowns have become pretty common in under 30 seconds, a minute or so here in this game.
Sunrise Mountain from their own 21-yard line with 2:02 to play. Josh Ackerman Blake came in on the last series to spell Max Shepard. And the big senior quarterback, give that arm a workout and flip it out to the left-hand side to Nick Haleman for a minimal gain. About 4 up to the 25. And he gets out. Clock stop with 1:58 to play. Ackerman Blake again from the shotgun. Again looks to the left side, flips it short. Well, that one will go to Raymond Flores, who does double duty. Star linebacker, but will also line up in the backfield and catch passes like he did there. Up to about the 30-yard line, gain of 5. And it's going to be 3rd and 1. Clock stopped on the out-of-bounds play with 1:52 to go. Ackerman Blake, pressure put on by Perez, and it's going to be almost intercepted It was right in the hands of Christian Tejada, and he was already thinking touchdown, and he couldn't pull it into his body.
Tejada was so close to pushing Peoria above the 60-point mark. Like you said, he had it there, tipped it up in his hands, couldn't corral it before he started heading toward the end zone. Ackerman Blake, his pass was tipped, and man, in and out of the hands of Tejada.
4th and 1 now. On the 30-yard line. Is this the last possession of the game for Sunrise Mountain? They keep it on the ground. And they'll give it to Flores when you need a couple of yards. He can do the duty for you. And he gets out to about the 33. Gain of about 3, but obviously far too little and far too late. Trying to get some reps in here. Some young players in. Zach Briggs checks in at a wide receiver. Bottom of your screen. Josh Ackerman Blake now with a new set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 33. Gets protection. Steps up in the pocket. Fires over the middle, and it's complete to Drago. Drago's going to be spun to the ground by Nakeem Lewis over on the far side, but not before he picks up the first down. 16-yard gain. Under a minute to play now. From their own 49-yard line. Again, pressure on Josh Ackerman Blake, and he gets this one across the middle to Christian Aragon. And Aragon gets down to about the 46. Gain of 5. Second and 5 from the 46. Ackerman Blake pumps, pulls it down. He's going to run. And he's going to be dumped. Michael Waddle drops Josh Ackerman Blake, and Sunrise Mountain takes their second timeout with 20.8 seconds left. A 3rd down at the 44-yard line. So Sunrise Mountain is going to lose their second straight, while Peoria is going to win their second straight, even their record at 3-3, as they get set to travel to Dysart next week. Sunrise Mountain will host North, and looking to reestablish that form that saw them win their first 4 games. And they'll finish with Paradise Valley at home, at Cactus, and at Glendale. Peoria, meanwhile, will finish with Wickenburg and Greenway here, and last game of the year at Shadow Ridge. So here we go, 20.8 seconds remaining. It's Peoria 55, Sunrise Mountain 31. The outcome no longer in doubt, but the final score might be. 3rd and 3 from the 44 for Josh Ackerman Blake and the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs, again from the shotgun. Ackerman Blake looks, sends it across the middle, and throws behind his receiver, Aragon. And 4th down, and it's last chance saloon time here. Oh, Josh Ackerman Blake is coming off, and they're going to send Hawkins in for another field goal try. This will be a 61-yard attempt. This will be his career long.
By 8 yards, a long one.
Hunter Wright will snap it. It's put down, it's on the way, and it's good! Ryan Hawkins with a career-long 61-yard field goal.
Wow, that bomb off the leg of Hawkins shatters his previous record of 53 yards by 8 yards. That was pretty incredible, and it had a little extra oomph on it. It got over the crossbar with ease.
It's 55-34, so it'll just be a footnote to this one, but Ryan Hawkins with a 61-yard field goal. He now has 9 field goals on the year, tying him with Matt Foley of Desert Mountain. We don't know what Mr. Foley did tonight. I'm going to guess he didn't kick a 61-yarder.
Good guess.
Boy, he just drilled that one. So I won't erase the sting of this loss, but certainly a big accomplishment, and you can see how fired up the Mustangs were. Obviously, James Carter had no doubt in his mind at all that Hawkins could do it from this distance. And I don't know what it's like now because we're inside, but it was really blustery here tonight, so I don't know if wind played a factor in that, as Hawkins now puts it high and drops it right on the goal line for another touchback. And with 10.6 seconds to play, that should be about it, as Peoria will probably run one play, and that'll be it. Well, this has been a game with something for everyone. If you like long touchdown passes, if you like the halfback option, if you like long returns, if you like long field goals, we've had it for you tonight.
Yes, we have. If you're hoping to watch a nail-biter, a defensive battle, you picked the wrong game this evening, that's for sure. High-powered offenses going at it tonight in Peoria.
And the final play of the game is a kneel down by Nick Salute. So after a night filled with big plays, the game ends on a kneel down, and Peoria improves to 3-3 with a 55-34 win over the Sunrise Mountain Mustangs. What a game. We're glad you were with us for it. Panthers even their record at 3-3 as they get set to head to El Mirage next Thursday night to take on Dysart. Sunrise Mountain Mustangs, meanwhile, suffer their second straight loss. They fall to 4-2, and they'll host Phoenix North next Thursday. For everyone on our IBN crew, including my partner Greg Dillard, videographer Ken Peak, and producer Troy Hansen, Steve Selwood, Brett Jennison, Katie Grieve, and Briggs Porter back at IBN Sports, and Kyle, the new PA, doing a great job as well. The always great Rick Johnson, our contact here on site. This is Ken Tomash. Thanks so much for joining us. You've been watching the IBN Sports Broadcasting Network in partnership with the Peoria Unified School District. The final again, the Peoria Panthers 55, the Sunrise Mountains Mustangs 34. Good night from Peoria, Arizona.